Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! It's a great one. He's here. He's fucking here. What's going on, everybody? So, as most of you know, I got my Great One Moose on Askiy a little while ago. I've just been too busy to kind of make my guide video on how I did it and everything. So, I got some free time, so let's do it. So, first thing is, I started hunting at 1. Um, Moose tend to be big animals to take down, so you need to give yourself that extra buffer if you don't get the perfect shot. So, start at 1. I had one zone that the moose seemed to come late into. So I kind of use that as my starter, um, where I would start things off at. So, biggest thing about moose, they run both lakes in Askiy, or both rivers, and then there's tons of little ponds and stuff. So it's just kind of find your spots and pick your rotation. Um, I moved zones around several times. It was not a one shot this. I moved zones around several times. I'd have zones go dead. I'd have zones um, that just kind of quit producing. So I move zones around. So you're gonna move zones around. But as you can see by the counter up top, I was not far into this grind to get my Great One Moose. It went very nice. So, um, one of the key things about moose is they are a big animal. I highly recommend using the 375. It seems to do the best on moose. I don't know why. It just seems to be kind of the best gun to use on them. Um, I know some people hate scent eliminator, some people don't. I personally use scent eliminator because I had several zones that the moose would smell me in, and the scent eliminator just gave me enough to where I wouldn't spook them trying to get into them. And as you'll see on Askiy, a lot of times you don't get to pick where your stand and your tent are. The map picks for you, and you've got to make the best of it, which isn't that bad. So I always kind of left the level 2s and the level 1s. Uh, I would always go for the 3, 4s, and 5s. And one of the great thing about mooses is they have giant hearts. And we love them for that, and we appreciate them for that. It also makes it easier to shoot them in the heart. So that 375 is going to lay him down very fast. You can use the 300 on moose. You can use the 300 on moose. It's going to require you to chase him. You're going to have to chase him. It sucks, I know, but it kind of is what it is. Nice gold. All right, so I just almost like every other grind. You get your zone set up, you pick your rotation, and you move around. See, some of these zones are just kind of wonky to get into. One thing I found that's super beneficial with the moose, try to set your on Askiy, try to set your tripod up to where you can hit 2 or 3 zones. This is actually the zone where my Great One spawned in. But as soon as I get up here, you're going to be able to see this tripod covers 3 zones. So I have a zone here, which is where my Great One was. I have this zone down here with a dime in it. Let's go. And then I have another zone over here that I can shoot all 3 from this tripod. let's put that dime down. See what I mean by moose are tanky? That was a perfect lung shot. And he's still going to run away. Um I I'll admit I don't use herd management. I don't. To me, herd management doesn't get me more great ones. Now, sure, some might say, well, you don't shoot the low levels, blah, 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 blah. I will. I'll 100% blast the low level in my main zone. I don't care. Um, Running around trying to find all of your exterior zones, trying to get all your exterior shot down. I have seen more guys, especially on the moose grind. So, my community, we have all been kind of grinding the same animals as we go along. We have a whole rotation set up on how we're going to grind, and we've been grinding them together. I've got some guys that are driving themselves insane. Oh, I gotta have my exterior shot down. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. Me and one other guy, we're just going in, setting up our tents and tripods or tents and blinds and blasting. And we're producing faster than they are. I I don't know. To me, it seems like you waste more time getting your exterior shot down, everything like that. Now, like my red deer on Scotland, they got accidentally herd managed. Accidentally. All right, let's see if he trolls or he's a dime. 283.03. Let's go. That's a good one. Okay. But like I said, so and then some of your zones you kind of got to sneak into. Some of them it's one big thing we found on moose. One giant thing that we found on moose, because my whole community and myself, we were having a terrible time with jumpers. Terrible time. We could not keep a herd together to save our souls. Only shoot one moose at a time. Only shoot one moose out of a herd. And as soon as we started doing that, okay, well, this zone doesn't like me. You'll have that too. As soon as we started shooting one moose out of a zone, everything got so much better for us. So much better for us. We weren't having jumpers. Um we weren't having respawn issues. Shoot one moose, move on. Um don't be afraid to use the collar. I recommend having the collar on you. Um the collar helps me in several different zones that you didn't have a good way to set up on the zone, so they're kind of in the brush, or um, you need to get the moose to turn. I don't use the 22 trick. I've had bad luck out of the 22 trick. It's probably a skill issue, but the collar works very, very well. I have the collar to me works better than uh, the 22 trick. So like I've got this zone here. This is a massive zone. I have threes, I have twos. Actually, it looks like half this herd. That's a solo that comes in. Yep. There's a two. Another two. A female. Um, but yeah, just kind of find your spot and set it up. All my tents and blinds or all my blinds or stands are somewhere in the 150-meter away range. Um, some are some are a little bit closer, some are a little bit farther. It's just kind of up to you and how you want to set it up. And like I said, a lot of times on a ski, you don't necessarily get to pick the setup. A ski picks it for you. I had a zone here. These moose are actually coming into that zone right now. Um, Another thing I'll tell you, if you have, if your zone if you really like the zone and it gets down to just two twos, shoot one of the twos. Shoot it. Take that two out. Drop it. And it will probably come back as something bigger. Let's just kind of finish running through these zones, see if we can find anything cool. Some of my zones have pickup tents, most of them don't. These guys haven't quite came in yet. It kind of is what it is on that. Yeah, I just I I don't really pick 8 zones and shoot them. I'll shoot 12, 14, 15, 16 zones. I'll use a four-wheeler instead of a pickup tent. Um, I seem to be having good luck with it. I've done it on fallow. I've done it on moose. I've done it on red deer. Uh, I seem to be having pretty good luck out of it. I mean, grinding is all kind of user preference. Um, One of the big things on a ski is you do got to deal with wolves. They kind of suck. They will spook you out of your zone, or they will spook your moose out of your zone. It doesn't make sense. Call of the Wild, EW, fix it. Um, but wolves can be kind of a pain in the ass, but honestly, didn't really have a major problem with them. That tent back there is funny. My second mosaic that I shot tried to attack me out of that. So there's a 3. I will sometimes have 2 or 3 moose here. Um, like I said, the biggest pain in the ass on a ski is the rivers. They're not really even a pain in the ass. Just don't worry about shooting them down. Here's a wolf. I use this. I use the collar on this zone because I don't have a good place to set up across the street or across the river. And as you can see, there's a big level 4 moose. I have 3 moose that sit over here. A level 2, a female, and then whatever. That zone is kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes the wolves scare them away, sometimes they don't. But I mean, it's like I said, this is how I did it. You can try it. Um, if you want to get in my comment section and tell me that I'm an idiot and herd management is the only way and everything like that, please do, because the more comments drives my video up. I don't care. You can call me an idiot. If you're ever in one of my live streams, you'll hear me say that I'm an idiot. I'm just saying that this method has been working fantastic for me. This zone normally has 3 to 4 males in it. I'm not seeing any males here. I'm also speed running this, so sometimes they don't always pop back in. Oh, another thing. Don't be afraid to reset time. If you're running behind because you had to track a animal or something and you've got 2 zones left, get in your tent, drop the time back 30 minutes. Who cares? I've had to do that so many times and it does not affect my spawns. It does not affect anything. Just drop the time back 30 minutes. Uh I did it all the time for red deer. I'm currently doing it all the time for fallow. I did it a lot for moose. Got a real nice 4 here. But I mean, like, look at this. I have tons of 4s and 5s and 3s. The moose will produce. The moose will produce. Just use a big gun. Like I said, the 375. Yep. I started out shooting this zone over here, and I kind of got it shot down to a 2 and a 3. And then I started moving over here to this zone, and there's a 3 and a small 2. And what I'll do with this zone is if I get 2 2s here, I pick the biggest one out of them, shoot it, and then move on. The only rare I didn't get out of this is an acro. Kind of annoying. But I'll throw my hotspot map up, or my drink zone map up, at the end of this video here so you can kind of see. But yeah, no, the moose were easy. And they were actually very kind of relaxing. They're a big target. They're easy to hit. The worst part about the moose was on Askiy is just kind of getting your zones finagled. It didn't always work out perfectly, but as long as you could get them finagled and everything like that, they weren't that bad. Just be patient and enjoy it, and I will say, work on your heart shots. It is so satisfying shooting a male moose directly in the chest and just watching him fold. Some of the zones, this lake in particular, you got to be careful on. Sometimes they'll be over here. Sometimes they'll be over here. Moose are very kind of they slowly meander themselves into a spot. Each run would take me roughly 30 minutes IRL time to do. So just don't rush it. If you absolutely need to get it down to 8 zones and make it perfect, good on you. Nah. I had no problem doing it every 30 minutes, shooting 16 moose at a time. It was, like I said, it wasn't that bad. Some of these zones just aren't coming in because I'm speed running this, and they don't come in till later. My moose over here sit right there. Sometimes you got to kind of pull off trick shots, like you're shooting through trees and stuff like that. Kind of is what it is. See, he turned into a 2, I'd shoot him. I would. I'd drop him. So, this is kind of getting us back to the beginning, back to where we were at, where we started all this. So, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will answer all of them that I can. Oh, there's a lady moose, a lady moose, a lady moose. Um, Sometimes I will say one thing too. Sometimes male moose won't always come into the zones. You can try the minute tick, or just, especially like this zone is at the end of my run, I would just move on. Reset time, main menu, and or main menu, reset time, and then move on with my life. So, with that being said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll answer them. Like it, share it, do all the things. I greatly appreciate all of you, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Let's fucking go.
That's great.
Let's fucking go.